Let me ask you a question. Have you ever felt different from everyone around you? Like no matter how hard you try to fit in, something inside you refuses to conform. Have you faced rejection, betrayal, or struggles that seem unfair compared to others? What if I told you it's not a coincidence? What if I told you God has hidden your true identity as a chosen one, and that's why your life has been so different? Stay with me till the end of this video, because I'm about to reveal something that could change the way you see your entire existence. If you've ever questioned why you feel out of place in this world, why things don't come easy for you, or why people seem to react to you in strange ways, then you need to hear this. This is not just another motivational talk. This is divine truth that will awaken something inside you that's been asleep for too long. And before we dive deep into this revelation, make sure to subscribe, because trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's uncover the mystery behind your hidden identity. From the moment you were born, your life was different. Maybe you didn't grow up in the best circumstances. Maybe you've been misunderstood, mistreated, or even abandoned. And while others seem to have smooth, easy lives, you've been walking through fire, facing battles that feel impossible to win. But what if I told you this is all part of God's plan? God doesn't reveal your identity as a chosen one easily, because if He did, the enemy would come for you before you're ready. You see, when you're marked by God, the forces of darkness recognize you before you even recognize yourself. And this is why your life has been filled with unexpected challenges. From childhood, you may have noticed strange patterns in your life. You attract both love and hate in an extreme way. Some people are drawn to your energy like a magnet, while others despise you without reason. This is not a random occurrence, it's a spiritual battle. The enemy sees your potential before you do, and he tries to break you before you can step into your calling. But here's the most shocking part. Even God Himself has hidden your true identity from you. For a reason. God is a master strategist. He knows that if He revealed your true power too soon, you wouldn't be ready to handle it. Imagine giving a child a kingdom before they've learned wisdom, discipline, and self-control. They would destroy it. The weight of their destiny would crush them. That's why God has kept your identity hidden, to protect you, to prepare you, and to build you into the warrior He created you to be. Think about the story of Moses. He was born to lead his people, but he was raised in Pharaoh's house, unaware of who he truly was. If Moses had known too soon, would he have been strong enough to face Pharaoh and demand freedom for his people? Probably not. He needed to go through the wilderness to be shaped and refined before stepping into his destiny. And the same applies to you. Everything you've been through, the betrayals, the struggles, the nights you cried out to God asking why, all of it was part of the process. God was molding you, testing you, strengthening you. Because only the strong can carry the burden of being chosen. Now let's talk about the signs. How do you know if you're a chosen one whose true identity has been hidden? Deep inside, you feel different, as if you're meant for something greater. No matter how much love surrounds you, there's an unshakable feeling that you don't fully belong. You've been through repeated hardships. While others seem to coast through life, your journey has been full of battles. But these battles weren't meant to destroy you. They were meant to shape you. You've noticed that people either love you intensely or hate you without reason. Your energy is different. Some people see the light in you and are drawn to it. Others see it and feel threatened. Even in your lowest moments, something inside you refuses to let go of God. You might not always understand Him, but you feel Him. You receive signs and messages in mysterious ways. Whether through dreams, sudden revelations, or divine encounters, God is always speaking to you. If any of this resonates with you, it's because God has been hiding you in plain sight. And here's the most important thing. You are not meant to stay hidden forever. The reason you're hearing this message today is that your awakening is near. God does not reveal the truth until the appointed time. You've been prepared in the shadows, but soon you will step into the light. But before that happens, you must be ready. You must understand why you were hidden, why your struggles were necessary, and how you can step into your destiny with power. Because once your true identity is revealed, there's no going back. And in the next section, we will go even deeper into the spiritual forces that have been working against you, the real reason why some people can't stand your presence, and what happens when a chosen one finally awakens. So stay tuned, because what I'm about to reveal next will shock you. Now, are you ready to uncover the full truth? If you've made it this far, then something inside you knows the truth. You are not ordinary. There's a reason your life has been filled with battles, why you felt out of place, and why certain people react to you with unexplainable hostility. But now we must go even deeper, because what most people don't realize is that the spiritual world is just as real as the physical, and there are forces, both divine and dark, that have been watching you from the very beginning. You see, being chosen is not just about having a special calling. It means you were marked before you were even born. And that mark made you a target. The enemy has been trying to break you, not because of who you are now, but because of who you are destined to become. Have you ever wondered why some people can't stand you, even when you've done nothing wrong? Why do you attract betrayal, envy, and resistance at every turn? It's because your very existence disrupts the plans of the enemy. There are people who carry darkness within them, knowingly or unknowingly, and when they encounter your light, it agitates them. They don't even understand why they dislike you. It's something deeper than the surface. It's spiritual. Your presence exposes things in them that they'd rather keep hidden. They can sense something different about you, even if you haven't fully stepped into your power yet. That's why no matter how much you try to blend in, you always stand out. You weren't meant to live an average life. You weren't meant to follow the crowd, and that terrifies those who are still trapped in the illusions of this world. But here's where things get even more intense. The reason God hid your identity isn't just to protect you from others. It was to protect you from yourself. If you had known too soon who you really were, you might have misused your power. You might have tried to force your destiny instead of growing into it naturally. Think about Joseph in the Bible. He had a dream that he would one day rule over his brothers, but when he spoke too soon, it triggered a series of betrayals that led to him being sold into slavery. But even in that painful journey, God was preparing him. He had to go through the lowest points of his life before he could rise to the position he was meant for. And just like Joseph, your trials have been a part of your training. Every heartbreak, every loss, every unfair situation, it wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to refine you. You've been learning patience, resilience, wisdom, and most importantly, trust in God. Because when the time comes for you to step into your purpose, you cannot afford to be weak. The weight of being chosen is heavy, and only those who have been tested in the fire can carry it. That's why your journey has been harder than most. You're not just anybody. You have a divine assignment, and the enemy knows it. That's why you've faced spiritual attacks, why certain doors have closed, and why sometimes it feels like you're moving 2 steps forward and 10 steps back. But what you don't see is that every setback was actually setting you up for something greater. Now, the most dangerous phase of your journey is the awakening. Because when a chosen one finally realizes who they are, the entire spiritual realm reacts. The enemy panics. The people who once tolerated you suddenly can't stand to be around you. Relationships fall apart. Old habits feel unbearable. Your spirit becomes restless, and you start feeling a pull towards something bigger, even if you don't know what it is yet. That's because your true self is emerging. God is no longer hiding you. The training season is ending, and now you are being prepared for the battle ahead. Because make no mistake, being chosen means you are part of a war for souls, for truth, for light in a world drowning in darkness. This is why you must be careful. When a chosen one awakens, distractions come in full force. People from your past reappear, trying to pull you back into old cycles. Temptations increase, fear creeps in, making you question if you're really ready. But this is where you must hold firm. You are no longer the person who was lost, confused, and unaware. You are stepping into something powerful, and the enemy knows that once you fully embrace it, you will be unstoppable. So now the real question is, are you ready? Because what comes next will change everything. In the next section, we're going to talk about what happens after the awakening, the responsibilities of a chosen one, and the final test that determines whether you're truly ready to step into your destiny. Because once you cross this line, there is no turning back. Stay with me, because this is where everything comes together. Now that you know the truth, there is no going back. You are awakening to the reality of who you are, and the spiritual realm knows it. Everything around you is about to shift. People you once trusted may start distancing themselves. Situations that once seemed normal will no longer sit right with you. Your spirit will reject anything that is not aligned with your divine purpose. And this is where the final test begins. Because the moment a chosen one steps into their identity, the enemy makes one last desperate attempt to pull them back. You will be tested in ways you never expected. Old temptations will resurface. Opportunities that seem too good to be true will appear, designed to distract you from your true path. People from your past, people who once hurt you, doubted you, abandoned you, may suddenly try to re-enter your life. Not because they have changed, but because your energy is different now. Some will try to pull you back into old habits, while others will pretend to support you just to drain your strength. But this is where you must be strong. You must remember everything you have been through. The struggles, the loneliness, the spiritual attacks. None of it was for nothing. It was preparing you for this moment. And now you must make a choice. You see, being chosen is not just about having a divine calling. It is about accepting that calling. Many are called, but few are willing to walk the path. Because once you embrace your true identity, you can no longer live like everyone else. You are held to a higher standard. Your words carry power. Your presence alone can shift the atmosphere. That is why the world has tried to break you. Because if you ever fully realized the authority you carry, nothing could stop you. And that is exactly why God hid your identity until now. You had to be ready. You had to be refined. You had to be tested in the fire before stepping into your purpose. But now, your time has come. No more doubting yourself. No more running from your destiny. The battle ahead will not be easy, but you were never meant to walk it alone. God has been with you since the beginning, guiding you even when you couldn't see it. And now, He is calling you to step forward with boldness. The enemy tried to silence you, but he failed. The world tried to break you, but you are still standing. You are stronger than you realize, wiser than you know, and more powerful than you have ever been told. So the question is, what will you do now? Will you shrink back into the shadows, pretending you don't know the truth? Or will you rise up and claim the identity that has been hidden from you for so long? The choice is yours. But understand this, once you step into your purpose, the doors that were once locked will begin to open. The battles you thought would destroy you will become the very things that strengthen you. And the life you were always meant to live will finally begin. This is not the end. This is only the beginning. Stay strong, stay focused, and remember, you were chosen for a reason.